the infraclavicular brachial plexus block?
Normally, as an anatomical landmark, they say you should palpate the coracoid process. If the patient is hefty, you might not be able to palpate the coracoid process, but if you go into the deltopectoral groove, there is a dip right between the pecs and the deltoids. It's called the deltopectoral groove. If you just put your probe here sagittally, I'll show you how to place the probe. Plop it down here. Drop this probe down here sagittally, and you will then start to see your sonoanatomy. And then the same way, if you have no idea where to go, what to do, you can just scan front and back until you find your landmarks. You have to remember that if your patient has some fracture or some injury and he is not willing to move his hand, then you can do the infraclavicular block in this position. But the recommended and proper way to do it is to externally rotate the arm and abduct it like this, like this. What will this do? The brachial plexus coming out of the neck is coming towards the arm, you see. So when you put the arm like this, actually the brachial plexus is coming in a sort of a diagonal direction. But if you keep the hand like this, externally rotated and abducted, the process becomes very easy. The nerves are going straight to the arm and you'll be able to catch them here. Also, this gives you a lot of space. This is something that you can only feel. You cannot I can't show it to you, but when you're needling, the clavicle will get in your way if the hand is adducted against the chest. As you open this place up, your needling path opens up, the cords become very superficial, and your anatomy becomes very nice, all right? So we're going to be scanning in this one just for the sake of demonstration, but in case your patient cannot move his hand or is not willing, then it's okay to do. Okay, so I have plugged down the probe. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. I am a beginner. This is all looking like just nonsense to me. So what do I do again? I've plugged down the probe. Dr. Umair told me, put it in the deltopectoral groove. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to same way scan up and down, scan up and down, scan left and right until I see a vessel. And these vessels are very easy to see. Yes, these vessels are very easy to see. And these vessels will be your axillary. Here's your axillary artery. So these vessels will be your axillary arteries and veins. So this is the same subclavian artery, but once it goes under the first rib, its name changes, all right? Its name changes, and it becomes the axillary artery. Okay. So I have now found the artery, and this one artery, you don't need to see anything else. The beauty of the infraclavicular block is, the beauty of the infraclavicular block is that you don't need to see anything else. If you can see this one artery, yes, then your whole issue is solved. This muscle above here, this is the pectoralis major muscle. This muscle here, this is the pectoralis minor muscle, all right? And just under this, you're going to have your axillary artery, your axillary vein, okay? I hope that's clear. Now, one thing to remember, how do you make sure you're in the correct spot is that you can see the pec minor. If you are too medial, there's a risk that you might see lung, okay? If you're too medial. So when you can see the pec major and the pec minor and the artery in the view, then you can be sure that you are at the right spot, okay? Now, I told you if you can see the artery, problem solved. Why? Because your needle will come in plane like this. All you have to do is go posterior right here to the artery, and your local will spread like this in a U-shaped pattern. Let me see if I can make a U. In a U-shaped pattern like this, you'll have a spread of local, and it will cover all of your nerves. Fortunately today in this case, we can actually see the nerves. So here, cranial side, there is one cord here. This cord is the lateral cord of the brachial plexus. And we're very lucky to see all of them actually, because it's very rare to see it. So here is your lateral cord, okay? This one, this little cherry structure is your posterior cord because it is posterior to the artery. This one here is your medial cord. The medial cord lies between the artery and the vein, all right? So we only need to do a 1-point or a 2-point injection. As you come like this, You'll be crossing the lateral cord on your way. You can give local here. Then as you enter into this compartment, posterior to the artery, you can give local here. If you give local, but you should remember anatomically that these are two separate sheaths. The posterior and the medial cord are friends, okay? They are friends, they are neighbors, they live in one sheath. And the lateral cord is their enemy, it's living in a different sheath, all right? So it's best to come along, give some local here, 10 mL of local here or 15 mL of local here. And as you pull out your needle or while entering, you can give 5 to 10 mL with this lateral cord as well. And that will be your infraclavicular block. I will still, for the sake of demonstration, I will try to show you the lungs. This is what I'm blocking currently. This is what I'm blocking currently. I can't see anything. Can you? I can't see anything at all because I'm facing point laterally. This is a parasagittal approach. We are near the coracoid process, a paracoracoid approach or a parasagittal approach. Now I'm tilting my probe medially. Suddenly, what do you see? You see something called a rib. You see a rib, and between the ribs, you are seeing your pleura, which is why I was telling you, how can you tell whether you are in the right place or not? I'm seeing an artery here. Can you see an artery here? I can see an artery here. Should I be blocking in this place? Definitely not. Why? Because I told you, one, you can see the pleura downstairs. It's a very nice place to actually do a subclavian approach to a central line, but this is not a good place for a block, okay? So I told you what, the right place to find out, pec major and pec minor should be on the screen. The pec minor is not on the screen right now. You can only see a very small sliver of it. As I move laterally, you can now see the pec minor muscle has arrived. Can you see that? The pec minor muscle. As soon as the pec minor muscle has arrived, the pleura has gone. These two can't tolerate each other. If you can see now I can't see the pec minor on the screen, but I can see the pleura. I can see the ribs and the pleura. So, by the way, this is the costo-clavicular approach to the infraclav. I think we're not discussing it in this class, but all three cords are bunched up here. This is called the costo-clavicular approach to the brachial plexus. Let me see if I can drop the brightness of it. The screen is right. Okay, now show it again. Here. So these are all three cords bunched into one area. This is called the costo-clavicular approach. This is a very favorite approach of mine, but I think this is not appropriate for this current section. All you need to remember is, I can now see the pec minor, the rib is gone. Okay, the rib is gone, the pleura is gone. So always do it in a place where you can see pec major and minor, and you can see the artery, and you'll be able to see all of your cords, and that's all you need to do for the infraclav. Okay.